back on track. It had been 2 months since Ryan was sent to crew for repairs after his accident, and more engines had to take a lot of visitors around the tours for showing around. All visitors come every day to Sodor, but the engines didn't mind. They knew they were only doing their jobs and wanting to make them and the Fat Controller feel happy. One morning, Arthur was at the station docks when Mighty Mac puffed in with a trail of 3 empty trucks. They were working very hard. Hello, Mighty Mac," said Arthur. "You two look like you're working hard instead of pulling passengers." "Yes," said Mighty, "we are. I see you're taking over the Harwick branch line while Ryan's away," said Mighty. "Yes, I am," said Arthur. I miss him so much." "Speaking of missing him so much," said Mighty, "I've also heard Ryan might be coming back. He also had a new shape while Mac and I was at the works for an overhaul." "Really?" said Arthur. He was surprised to know that his friend was coming back. "Well," said Arthur, "I might want to see him again after I'm done with them visitors," said Arthur. Yeah, I hope so," said Mighty. You should see Duncan already. He's been grumbling about those extra passengers. But Mac and I tried to tell him that they're only visitors, but he never listens. "You'll get used to it," said Arthur. "I really hope Ryan will come back then. I've also heard as well that you might be helping on the Harwick branch line for the next few days." "What?" said Arthur. "I did not know that," he said. "The Fat Controller didn't even tell me that," he said, frowning. "Well, it's a long story," said Mighty. "You might want to just get on with your passenger work nowadays," he said. Then, indeed, he had to. The guard blew his whistle, and Arthur puffed out of the station docks. "Goodbye, Mighty Mac," he said. "Tell Ryan I said hello," and he departed away. Soon he hurried along the line. Arthur was excited. He could not believe that Ryan was going to come back from crew. He was excited about it as he raced along the line. "Steady, boy," said his driver. "There's plenty of time." Arthur knew that, but he was still worried about not being in time for Ryan. He hurried along the line. Then he puffed around the Sodor suspension bridge. Moments after, he began racing up the hill, but then there was trouble. Ryan started to slow down. He began to feel weak, and soon he stopped. His driver and fireman could see what was going on. "What's happening to me?" asked Arthur. "I don't feel well." His driver looked at him carefully. "Your water injector's failed," he said. "I'm afraid we'll have to call for another engine," he said. "I'm afraid we'll have to call for another engine," he said. But before he could do that, the fireman also said the same thing too, and decided to wait a little while longer, while the passengers were still getting anxious. The guard told them all it was going to be all right, and that another engine would take over and take Arthur to the station. Arthur was worried that he would not be able to make it in time. A short couple of minutes after, Arthur was still anxious. His driver and fireman told him not to worry. Arthur was about to sigh when he heard a familiar engine's whistle. He knew who it was, and then looked over the suspension bridge. There, Coming there at the bridge was Ryan, coming home from crew at a different shape. At last he came to the rescue. "Hello there," said Ryan. "Did anybody miss me?" "I did," said Arthur. You look very handsome in your new shape." "Yes," said Ryan. "I heard you needed help. Now let's go." With that, Ryan was ready and was coupled up. Soon he had plenty of steam and pushed Arthur and the train up the hill. "We might have to make it in time," said Arthur anxiously, "or we'll never make it." "Don't worry, Arthur," said his driver. "Everything's under control now." And indeed it was. Soon Ryan did his best, and then the two were tired after they went down the hill. Until at last, both Arthur and Ryan arrived at the station docks. The Fat Controller was finally waiting for them there. He was very pleased with the two engines. "Right on time," he said. "Right on time," he said. But then Ryan told the Fat Controller all about Arthur's water injector. "These things happen," he said. "Not to worry. Ryan shall take care of the train. Arthur shall now go to the works and get his water injector mended," he said. Then the drivers and firemen agreed to help. Moments after Arthur was taken to the steamworks to get his water injector mended, Ryan now took charge of the train and realised he had to make it to the other station in time. He knew this. The guard blew his whistle and Ryan steamed off. When he arrived, he met Stepney on the way, who was looking very shocked to see Ryan in his new shape. "Ryan," said Stepney, "is that you?" "Yes, it is me," said Ryan. "I had an accident, and then I had a rebuilt," he said, "at crew. Now I'm happy to be back on service." "It's nice to be back on the tracks again," said Stepney, "even though you have been saved before. Then Ryan spoke up. "Were you saved from scrap before?" Stepney smiled. "It's a long story," he said, but I wasn't in the scrappers for too long," he said. "Let me tell you." But before Stepney could tell his story to Ryan, the Fat Controller came out of one of the coaches and spoke to Ryan. "You have done very well," he said. I trust Diesel will now help you at the Harwick branch line while Arthur is getting repaired," he said. "Stanley shall look after the fishing village while Arthur is gone. But for now, let's take these visitors around the sites while we make the most of it today." "Yes, sir," said Ryan. At last, more visitors came and climbed aboard the coaches. Goodbye, Stepney," shouted Ryan. "Perhaps you could tell me your story another time." And he puffed away. Until in the evening, Ryan came back to the sheds feeling very happy. All of the engines came to greet him. All the engines were already at the sheds greeting him there. We're happy to have you back on track, Ryan," said Duke. "You look splendid in your new shape." "Yeah," said Hero. "Now you look as different as Arthur," he said. "Yeah," said Ryan. But that's all I can say to you all," he said. Then he told all the other engines his story about him, about his new shape, and then the story of Arthur's failed injector, until they went to sleep, knowing what a splendid day they all had, considering it was very busy indeed.